I told you, would you believe me? Should you believe me? We are what we do. That is who I am.
I was losing myself in the insanity of my stress for one reason or another, and I really needed Atomfall. A game that at a distance may seem a bit like British Fallout or even a British S.T.A.L.K.E.R. While it has similarities in the most basic of ways, the game director did say they took inspiration from the likes of Fallout New Vegas, S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and Metro, though Rebellion certainly carved out their own post-apocalyptic RPG of sorts. Atomfall stands out as an interesting amalgamation of genres that promises to give you a unique experience, and it does that in spades. Honestly, it reminds me of Prey 2017, not because it has immersive sim elements, because it doesn't, but because of the way it confused so many people on its lead up to launch, despite so much coverage. Marketing always prioritizes combat in trailers, and that's what people grab onto and they don't let go of it. I don't think the majority of people watch the deep look into the game by devs hyping it up, other than in Cyberpunk 2077's case. Though much like Prey and Cyberpunk, this game will definitely garner a large cult following and probably be looked at as an even better game than it is seen as now. I previously mentioned that I needed Atomfall. That's because I needed to sit down and just enjoy a great game at my own pace, take a step back from YouTube and other stressors in my life. I needed a game that gave me the freedom to do as I please, something to truly get lost in and engrossed within. I haven't been this invested in or lost in a game since Prey. It offers up so much I love in this tightly crafted experience. Atomfall is based on and inspired by the actual Windscale fire, a lesser-known nuclear accident that occurred in 1957. Due to the government covering it up during the time because of Cold War conflicts, the actual event resulted in a fire that burned for 3 days and released radioactive fallout which spread across the UK and the rest of Europe. Atomfall's version of events led to a nuclear fallout of sorts that allowed an unknown radiation to infect the people and the land.
Windscale, the pride of Britain. Nestled in the picturesque Lake District, the state-of-the-art atom plant has transformed this rugged landscape into the envy of its northern neighbors. Scientific progress waits for no one, and
the public has nothing to fear.
The area will be reopened by Christmas at the latest.
The situation is more complex than was at first understood.
No military expeditions into the area have been lost. Where did you get such an idea?
Perhaps by experts. Oh, no more reconnaissance flights. The interference field is bringing down aircraft like clay pigeons.
Let me be clear. Our experts are monitoring the situation, and I would urge everyone to remain calm. The situation in Cumberland is well in hand.
What caused this is alien to everyone inside and outside the quarantine zone, which is where you come in. You wake up in a bunker without any memory of how you got there. You're sent on your way with a vague idea of what to do, and the world becomes your oyster from the moment you leave the bunker. Will you shed light on this catastrophe, or will you escape none the wiser? That's up to you to decide, and that's the beauty of the entire experience. Before we really dive in deep and find out why the game is truly special, there's something else it's heavily inspired by, even if the devs have never said so. The game has a very heavy Lovecraft feel to it. The world and its many infected lands, weird voices whispering to you or calling you from phone boxes littered around the world. Everything that's out of place has this purplish pink hue to it, almost a magenta-like look. It's alien and almost like a color out of space. Almost difficult for the human eye to even fathom, let alone comprehend. H.P. Lovecraft's short story, A Color Out of Space, has to, and I mean has to be a huge inspiration narratively here. Seemingly something not from our world was potentially unearthed and led to scientific advancements, using material to create ways for people to gain knowledge and information in a fraction of the time, more like muscle memory than learning something completely new. Aside from the color used and many inhabitants describing it as otherworldly, why do I make that comparison? Well, those near the radiation, infected land, or infected themselves hear voices. They lose their mind and become something or someone else entirely. It spreads like wildfire, and everyone is affected in some way, because just being around it has an effect, even if minor. I'm not trying to spoil much, so that's why I'm being intentionally vague. There's so much to talk about here without spoiling anything. One of the crowning achievements of this game is its freedom. I mentioned before that the world becomes your oyster. Much like Fallout New Vegas or Prey, you choose a direction and figure it out. Some ways are more challenging than others, but you'll adapt. One really good example of freedom and really messing with the player is a certain espionage lead. You can start it from many different areas, and it can end in a couple different but mostly identical ways. Well, that is unless you just kill the main guy when you first meet him. If you don't, then well, you get a very simple quest. You get materials so that this man can repair his radio and get his signal out and maybe call for help. This gives you hope for an escape early on in the game. You then give him time to fix the radio and return. He has fled his hideout and has left a note. He explains he couldn't get his signal out and he's going to find another way to escape. That hope was all false. You shouldn't place much faith in anyone. You can then go off and do whatever. Maybe you'll stumble upon more information about these people and what they were doing or not. But you can find him again. You can find him dead in a cave or shot in a research facility depending on other factors. You find a note that says he has hidden any and all of their findings where nobody will find them. Most people, myself included, figured, well, I'll never know what they were doing. But if you do enough searching in a very secluded location, you can stumble upon their findings and a pretty early revelation that will blow your mind. The entire game is full of moments just like that, and a mystery worth unraveling. Who are you? What's going on? And who's calling you at all hours of the day through the telephone? Well, that's up to you to piece together and theorize about. That's the magic of this kind of RPG-like experience. Freedom and player agency. Play your way and reap the rewards or face the consequences. Another standout aspect of the game is how it feels. It feels weighty and clunky. Your shots feel meaty and powerful. Headshots instantly put down an adversary. If you point a gun at an enemy using a melee weapon, they'll back away, and sometimes, if you keep your distance, they'll leave you be and let you go on your way. I'm a huge fan of animations in games, and even one of my favorite things about VR games like Metro Awakening. The feeling of reloading or a cool animation is satisfying. In Atomfall, you can turn off the compass in this already directionless game with no handholding. You can also make it where if you reload a mag that had ammo in it, you lose that ammo, which I really like. It really incentivizes you to pay attention to how much ammo you have. And you can hold the reload button down to check your ammo count. When you run out of ammo, you can fire it, but it won't auto-reload for you. You actually have to press the button to reload. You're in charge of your actions. Most leads have more than one way they can be resolved, and they all pretty much loop in on one another in some way. Everything feels like a piece to a larger puzzle, and you're piecing it all together during your travels through the story, the world, and all the characters you meet. Combat is brutal and unforgiving at times. You really have to play like Prey 2017, where you need to be fairly tactical with your approach to situations, because every encounter could be deadly. Ammo is scarce, and friends are few, far between, so you have to be on your toes at all times. The same goes for conversations and characters. Who can you really trust? You don't even know who you are, let alone anyone else. You'll meet plenty of friendly faces willing to trade, or I should say barter. The game doesn't have a currency, instead you trade things of an equal value. It's a really cool and refreshing economy for a game that I've never seen implemented before. The game's atmosphere and world building is top notch. The many little nods to British culture and sci-fi. Even a Judge Dredd helmet can be found tucked away in a bunker. The game is eerie and mysterious, scattered with moments containing musical notes, but for the most part, only ambient sound. Due to the largely natural sound of the world, you can hear outlaws fighting robots or the protocol. You can hear everything going on, so it keeps you aware of your surroundings. The devastation left from a disaster can be felt, yet the world remains absolutely beautiful and picturesque. It really captures that northwestern England feel, and you get a bit of that Irish landscape as well, given the actual location borders Ireland. Rebellion really took a leap of faith on this passion project. They stepped out of their comfort zone and created potentially their most successful game to date. It may not be perfect, but nothing really is. But it sure is perfect for me and my interests. Atomfall is one of those really unique and special experiences that only come around every so often. Usually mixed at launch, and later a cult following diamond in the rough. But once again, I can say I see the beauty beneath the surface. A color out of space of an unknowable and unfathomable nature. What lies at the heart of Atomfall is a heart and soul that shines bright through the thick Castrophil woods and over the town of Wyndham. There's hope for small teams and small budgets to create these truly astonishing experiences that you must play. It may be risky to give players a sense of choice and freedom, but trusting the player to find their way is key for growth. Growth of the self, and how you look at not only the world, but what is possible within the video game industry. It may be more challenging, but making games like Atomfall, Prey, Fallout New Vegas, S.T.A.L.K.E.R, The Outer Worlds, or Metro is what we need. We need more Cyberpunks and Baldur's Gate 3s in the world. We want innovation and great gaming experiences. Atomfall offers that in every possible way. It never fails to surprise or throw you for a loop. It's a refreshing and memorable time. Atomfall will stay with me for a long time to come. This is a game I will return to for many years, and I will champion for the rest of my life. When I love something, I will never cease letting people know and spreading the word. Thank you for all the support and for your time. I appreciate Osh, Midnight Medium, and Melancholy Geek for all their support. There's so much on the way, so please stay tuned. The Forge is calling, and I must answer. I'll see you all next time. Thank you.
So ends the quarantine.
The woods are dark and the woods lie deep, and the woods are home to summers don't sleep.